The Pokémon League Challenge is back as the primary goal. Duh, that's to be expected. You know, repeating the same formula. But thank goodness they didn't do that for future games. I think. The mission is to confront and defeat the 8 new gym leaders scattered across the towns and cities of Johto. And wouldn't you know it, the gym specialties greatly differ from Kanto's. From beginning to end, you've got Falconer, the blue-haired flying type enthusiast. Bugsy, whose gender we have a hard time identifying, the bug-type gym leader. Whitney, the normal gym leader, whose badge looks like a road sign. Morty, the spooky ghost trainer. Chuck, the crazy fighting master. Jasmine, the meek steel gym leader. Price, the old ice sage. And Claire, who trains Dragon. Totally new and totally nuts. Isn't it interesting that the type specialties included match Red, Blue, and Yellow's Elite Four? How very peculiar. The journey starts in the quiet and small town of Newburgh. Yep, most of the towns and cities are named after plants, whereas towns and cities were named after colors in the color generations. So why weren't they just named after metals? Alkali City, Cobalt Town, Mercury Town? No? Oh, okay. Just like in the first game, you're a cool kid who has cool clothes on and starts in your upstairs room. After getting bugged by your mom and the new and young Professor Elm, who specializes in Pokemon evolution and development, apparently, it's up to you to be his little errand boy and fetch a certain Mr. Pokemon's newest discovery. Who is this Mr. Pokemon, and what kind of a name is that? I mean, sharing the name of the titular monsters and franchise, he must be someone really important indeed. Nope, not really. After getting the so-called discovery, which is, spoiler, a Togepi egg, of course, from him, you never hear from him ever again. Ever. Huh? Professor Oak? Professor Oak is back! He just so happened to visit Mr. Pokemon. And what are those strange giant electronic machines doing there? Is he a hacker, or what? Mr. Pokemon. And just so happens to again make you do something he claims he's too old to do himself. And for no money. That is, document and capture all the 250 Pokemon. Giving you the Pokédex. Oak dashes away despite being too old for it, and we find out has become something of a sellout since we last saw him in the old games. What with his own radio show and all. And in Johto of all places. What a traitor, backstabbing jerk. Before heading on this task, you are given a selection of 3 Pokemon Elm conveniently has on his table, mirroring the historic beginning of the older games. And the starter Pokemon are again comprising of the types Grass, Fire, and Water. We are given the option of the brand new Pokemon Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita, which, again, are the difficulty levels of the beginning of the game. Remember Red and Blue? Charmander was hard, and Bulbasaur was easy. This time, it's Fire type that's the easy one, and it can floor both starting gyms with no extra effort. The opposite goes for the Grass type Chikorita. On the way back from the neighboring Violet City, the rival arrives. Hey, he was the jerk who was peeking into Elm's laboratory right after we left. In typical rival style, he picks the Pokemon that has an advantage to yours, and beating him this time around is really easy. A lot meaner than Blue, this guy is someone to look out for. And lo and behold, the police are investigating this Pokemon thief who stole the Pokemon from Elm's lab. Luckily, we found out his name. After finally finishing the errand, Professor Elm is shocked to see a Pokemon egg! Apparently living with Pokemon for thousands of years has not had anyone interested in how Pokemon reproduce. This is seen as a new discovery, which of course it is for us players and the game mechanics, but it shouldn't really be new to the people who live in the Pokemon world, for obvious reasons. But this is a special egg. How fruity. Now, it's finally time to head out into the wild world without any interruptions from there on. This time around, in the overworld, the term for the general area you walk around in, trainers sometimes look around and walk, making it harder to evade them for a battle once they stop you, instead of just standing around in one position all the time like in the older games. But it also gives you a chance to evade them as well. Oh yeah, and I just want to say, this guy's awesome. Rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace. Violet City is the first main city encountered, It includes the Sprout Tower, a weird Buddhist sort of monastery where these old bald guys train using Bellsprout and a surprise hoot hoot, here and there. And they're supposed to be taken seriously? Inside it, you were able to capture Ghastly at night, apparently without the need of a self-scope. Yeah, remember that? The first town also had Earl's Pokemon Academy, very much in the vein of the easily forgotten school in Viridian City, but this was much more expanded. Violet also included, in this person's opinion, the best theme song in the entire Gold and Silver version. Falconer is the first gym leader there. With his crazy big hair and 2 Pidgey Pokemon, you can defeat him easily. And earn the Zephyr badge. Huh, so in the new games, they always have a different order of Pokemon gyms, but never change the grass, fire, water starter types. Oh well. Falconer's gym also had a giant $sign for a pathway. I guess it was a renovated bank. After defeating Falconer and noticing a mysterious tree blocking the way, we find ourselves having to tread through the Union Cave, where you're also offered a Slowpoke tail for an outrageous amount of money! Inside the cave were tons of new challenges and annoying fighters, and some exits would lead to the mysterious Ruins of Elf. Getting out easily, and heading down to Azalea Town, we find some familiar-looking characters. Azalea is famous for his senior citizen known as a short nutty guy who makes balls. No, not those balls, you dirty man. For Pokemon trainers! His skills are quite renowned, and if you find apricorns, he'll turn them into various balls you can't normally find or buy. Apparently, some crazy people have been cutting Slowpoke tails off of poor Slowpoke, and Kurt, which is his name, had enough of it. On the senile old man goes. Hurts his hip supposedly, and you're once again asked to do battle against the bad guys in his place, since he's being stupid. Only to find out that it was... Team Rocket! Surrender now or prepare to fight. They're back! After being disbanded since Red, remember Red? Defeated Giovanni 3 years earlier, in Red, Blue, and Yellow, Rocket revived and are on a quest to cause trouble and find their long-lost leader and get back into the business of dastardly proportions. You know what? I kinda wanna try Slowpoke tails now. Must be really good. Yes, Gold and Silver is a continuation of the story from the first game. 2 or 3 years have passed and things have changed. Isn't that cool? Then it's off to meet and defeat Gym Leader 2, Bugsy. A puny little kid with, surprise, big bug types to attack. Oh, and just for the record, he's a boy. Just burn him. After finishing a bunch of side quests and discovering that you ingeniously have to press the A button on the tree you want to cut instead of having to go through the start menu to the Pokemon to perform an HM move, which is a huge time saver and... so nice. We all knew about Pokemon eggs since we've seen it in the anime. And of course Togepi. So, much to our prediction, that was an important feature in Pokemon Gold and Silver. Pokemon had genders. I mean, obviously we knew Pokemon had genders since the beginning, but now it's a factual addition to the game. Most of them would have percentages of females and males. Some would be female or male exclusives, such as Tauros, Jinx, Miltank, and Kangaskhan. Wait, Kangaskhan? Really? Kangaskhan always looked like a male to me. I thought it was like a seahorse or a penguin where the male would take care of the baby. Disappointing. And some, especially the legendary Pokemon, would not have genders at all. That's just to inhibit legendary breeding, which is fair. Why can't Machop, Machoke, and Machamp have both genders? Isn't that kinda gross? Why do Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar have genders if they're ghosts? There is a daycare center right after the Elex Forest where, unlike Red and Blue and Yellow, a couple would take care of 2 Pokemon. And if they're the right breeding group and the opposite genders, they might just produce an egg. And this is where it gets interesting. The egg would be a much stronger offspring, combined with a complex algorithm of different moves sometimes taken from its parents. You can start a Pokemon breeding business! Wait, no you can't. But this did give the Pokemon games such a more broad and customized spectrum. Anyway, the epic journey continues to Goldenrod City. Goldenrod City is the biggest in all of Johto. The sprawling metropolis is absolutely packed with things to do and trainers to battle. A giant supermarket of Pokemon goods and a basement full of crazy merchandise and services, not to mention queer Pokemon trainers, and the radio tower where Professor Oak shamelessly hosts a talk show about Pokemon. There's even a name raider, a bike store where the clerk trusts you so much to give you a bike immediately for free.